Po, the dragon warrior, has become a legend in the Valley of Peace. His strength, wisdom, and leadership have earned him respect and admiration from everyone, especially the Furious Five, who remain by his side. But despite all of his achievements, Po feels a deep emptiness within himself. The battles have been won, the peace has been restored, and yet something still feels missing. The fame, the power, the glory, none of it brings him the satisfaction he once hoped for. Po begins to question the meaning of being a master. Is he truly fulfilled? Does being the dragon warrior mean more than just physical strength? Late one evening, as the sun sets and the valley is bathed in a warm golden glow, Po stands by himself in his room, staring into the distance. For the first time, he wonders if there is more to his journey than just fighting. He realizes that his true challenge now lies not in defeating enemies, but in understanding himself. The battles that lay ahead will be fought within him, not outside. Po decides to leave the valley and embark on a journey to find deeper wisdom. He will search for the path of the true master, an ancient philosophy of Kung Fu that teaches mastery of oneself not just through combat, but through balance and inner peace. Po travels far from the valley, into distant and mysterious lands. Along the way, he meets sages and wise monks who challenge his perception of Kung Fu. One particular sage, an elderly master living in a remote mountain temple, teaches Po that true strength comes not from force, but from understanding and controlling one's emotions. Po listens intently as the sage explains that Kung Fu is not only a physical art, but a way of being, a path to mastery over both the body and the mind. As Po continues his journey, he confronts memories from his past, flashbacks of his childhood, his mother's teachings about believing in himself, and the early days of his Kung Fu training. One night, while meditating by a quiet river, Po is visited by a vision of his mother, who tells him that to truly master Kung Fu, he must first master the fears and doubts that hold him back. This moment of clarity awakens a new sense of purpose in Po. He realizes that his journey is not just about defeating external enemies, but about overcoming the doubts and insecurities within his own heart. As Po continues his journey, a dark presence begins to creep into the Valley of Peace. An old adversary, one whom Po and the Furious Five defeated years ago, has returned, more powerful than ever. This enemy, once a master of martial arts, has discovered a dark and dangerous form of Kung Fu that manipulates emotions and minds. With this newfound power, the enemy plans to turn the valley's inhabitants against each other, sowing chaos and fear. Po learns that this adversary seeks not only revenge, but also to prove that true mastery lies in domination, not in balance or wisdom. Po returns to the valley, now more self-aware, but the threat is imminent. The villagers are already under the enemy's influence, their hearts filled with doubt and fear. Po finds himself struggling, as his own insecurities begin to resurface. He feels the weight of his title as Dragon Warrior, and for a moment, doubts if he is truly worthy of it. The battle ahead will not be like any Po has faced before. It is not a battle of fists, but of minds and hearts. Po realizes that the real challenge is not to defeat the enemy with strength, but to defeat the fear, hatred, and doubt within himself and the people around him. The Furious Five stand by Po, ready for battle, but Po takes a moment to reflect. He tells them that they must fight not just with their bodies, but with their hearts. They must overcome the manipulation of the enemy by remaining calm and centered. The fight is not about winning with force, but about protecting the peace within the valley. The final battle takes place in the ruins of an ancient temple, where the Dark Master confronts Po and the Furious Five. The enemy's powers are immense, manipulating the emotions of the group and making them doubt their strength. But Po, now fully aware of his inner peace, remains calm and serene. He does not fight with rage or aggression. Instead, he stands firm and confronts the Dark Master's influence with wisdom and serenity. Po focuses on his own emotions, not allowing fear to control him. Slowly, the enemy's power begins to weaken, as it is fueled by negativity and chaos, whereas Po's strength comes from stillness and clarity. The final moment of the battle is not one of physical combat, but of spiritual triumph. Po uses his newfound understanding of Kung Fu, his mastery over his emotions and mind, to defeat the Dark Master. With a single, calm movement, Po's energy disrupts the enemy's dark power, returning peace to the valley. As the dust settles, Po stands victorious, but not in the way he once imagined. He doesn't need accolades or titles. The true victory is in his transformation, his ability to stay grounded and balanced even in the face of overwhelming odds. The Furious Five and the villagers who have now regained their composure celebrate, but Po knows that the true journey is just beginning. The peace he fought for is not just in the valley, but within himself. Back in the Valley of Peace, Po reflects on the lessons he has learned. He gathers the Furious Five and a group of young Kung Fu students to teach them the principles of the true master's path. He shows them that Kung Fu is not just about combat, but about understanding oneself, controlling one's emotions, and helping others to do the same. He teaches them that the greatest strength is not in the body, but in the heart. The film ends with Po standing at the edge of the valley, watching the sun rise over the horizon. The light of the new day shines on him, and he smiles, knowing that his journey to true mastery has only just begun. He is no longer just the Dragon Warrior. He is a true master, at peace with himself and ready to guide others on their path. As Po looks out at the peaceful valley, he reflects on his journey and the lessons learned, ready to face whatever challenges come next. His legacy is no longer defined by his victories in battle, but the wisdom and peace he shares with others. True strength is not found in the body, but in the heart. A true master is one who masters themselves. With those words, Po walks forward, ready to continue his journey, knowing that the true path of Kung Fu is one of peace, wisdom, and self-discovery.